Good morning, everyone. Would you rise in body or spirit for our gathering hymn?
Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Welcome, everyone, here to First Unitarian Church in Portland, Oregon on this snowy winter morning. We are a multi-generational community where we each can grow spiritually and strive together to build a beloved community. I want to especially welcome newcomers who are among us today. We're so glad you're with us. And I want to note that our elevator is not operating this morning, so our apologies to anyone who is inconvenienced by that. After the service today, join fellow congregants for a social hour. You can join virtually. You'll see a web link and a QR code right after the service. And here in person, this being the first Sunday of the month, we'll gather in our Buchanan building. That's in that direction, and just follow the rest of the congregation and you'll find it if you don't know where that is. Today, in that social hour in Buchanan, will be our Alliance Treasures and Baked Goods Sale. Lots of wonderful things for your holiday shopping pleasure. And there are also lots of ways to give to others in this season. You can make donations of gently used scarves, mittens, gloves, and socks to our mitten tree to support home-free domestic violence services. You can also donate dog and cat accessories to support the PAW team of Portland. Our Immigrant Justice Action Group invites you to support farm workers this holiday by donating pajamas, hoodies, and gloves. You can drop off goods at their table this week and next week. And our Community for Hunger and Homelessness invites you to take part in a holiday gift drive for Path Home families. That's formerly Portland Homeless Family Solutions that the church has a long relationship with. Stop by the Coho table for a list of gift cards or other gifts that are especially needed this year. And with all that's going on in this holiday season, you might need a break for some contemplation. A reminder that in this Advent season, our spiritual directors are offering a series of Monday morning Matin services. They'll be from 8 to 8:30 on Monday mornings. This will be a time of words and music and reflection. And for a link, you can go to the registration page on the church website and find it there. So once again, welcome everyone this morning. Let's take a moment now and greet our neighbors online or here in person. Our chalice lighter this morning is Rian Morris, who grew up in our church and is now helping care for our youngest congregants in the church nursery. If you're joining us from home, I invite you to light a chalice or candle now. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love.
Our call to worship come from the words of Annie Dillard. We are here to abet creation and to witness it, to notice each other's beautiful face and complex nature, so that creation need not play to an empty house. Will you join in singing, "I Seek the Spirit of a Child"? Our responsive reading is by Sophia Lyon-Fahs, the great religious educator. For so the children come, and so they have been coming.
Always in the same way, they come born of the seed of man and woman.
No angels herald their beginnings. No prophets predict their future courses. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night.
Fathers and mothers, sitting beside their children's graves, feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning.
They ask, where and how will this new life end, or where will it ever end?
Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping.
And I'll just edit in the moment for parents. Sophia Lyon-Fahs was a woman ahead of her time and of her time for parents beside their children's cribs. Let us sing our doxology together. by bringing your children to be dedicated into the fellowship of this church, yeah, I'm talking about all of you, you are acknowledging the wonder of life. You are proclaiming the importance of an ethical perspective. You are sharing with this congregation some of the joy that is yours as parents. By welcoming these children, the congregation affirms its responsibility to aid in nurturing and teaching our young people. Will the entire congregation join in the affirmation shown on the screen? We, the members and friends of First Unitarian Church, welcome and affirm these children into our midst. We will help these parents prepare their children to be independent and interdependent adults. We will help them to be aware of the world as it is and as it ought to be aware of the power of community to change its course, and to be aware of the power of love to overcome tragedy and injustice. Will you, as parents and guardians, cherish and nourish your children in body, mind, and spirit, giving freely from your own ideals and dreams, while recognizing that your children must develop their own? Will you cultivate within your children a deep feeling for the breadth of humanity and wonder for the earth and its creatures, and a spirit of kindness toward all people and beings, so that your children may grow in the fullness of health and responsible living? Parents, if so, please respond, "We will." Wonderful. Hi, Levi, look what you're about to get. Do you see this? This is a rose. Do you see them? Aren't they pretty? Yeah. This rose, let me tell you about it. This rose that we give you and all of you is a symbol of each child's unfolding potential for the future. And the water here in this bowl is the life-giving link which makes all the earth fertile and bear fruit. So let's begin with the youngest. Let's begin with the Fox family. So I invite you to be right next to me. Here we go. Hi, Adrian. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. What is the full name, Brendan and Pam, that you have given this child?
Adrian Allen Fox.
Adrian, what a beautiful name. And in fact, that is why you were given that name. Your parents told me because it was beautiful, like you. It also means coming from the Adriatic Sea. So may you be blessed with beauty and a connection to the water, the source of all life. And your second given name, Allen, is your mother's maiden name. And may it bless you with ties that bind you to love. Can I just, there we go, look at that. Here, you want to hold it? Here we go. Adrian Allen Fox, by this name you are now called. You are a child of this family. You are also a child of this congregation and of the entire universe. May you wear your name in honor, in peace, and in courage, and may your life unfold like the beauty of this flower. And I know you've already been dedicated, but we can always use extra blessing. I bless your feet, that you may walk a path of peace, your hands, that you shall always be a kind older brother, and your head, that you may gain insight. Great. Next, let's go with the Franco Isaacs family. Let's maybe just trade places. That's great. Hannah and Tim, What is the full name of this child? Your parents chose Levi because all the Levis that they could think of were joyful, generous, and fun. Isn't that a great reason? May you be blessed with each and every one of those qualities. And your second name, Alexander, comes from your recently deceased grandfather, Rob's father. Is that right? So your great-grandfather. May the name Alexander bless you with a connection to your ancestors, to their stories, and to all of their love. That got a smile, right? I like that. Just a little water. Here we go. There we go. Can I give that to you? Levi, Alexander, Franco, Isaacs. By this name you are now called. You are a child of this family, you are a child of this congregation, and you are a child of the universe. You can taste it. I think it's organic. May you wear this name in honor, in peace, and in courage. And may your life unfold like the beauty of this flower. And you also have someone with you, not an older brother, but a grandmother. May you be blessed to walk a path of peace. May your hands be blessed as you hold all of your grandchildren. And may your mind be blessed with peace and joy. Let's see. Tastes good. And now, for the Howell and Binnig family, we're going in order of age to make it not a mystery. Okay, great. Ruth and David, what is the full name of this child?
Elliot Catherine Binnig.
Elliot Catherine Binnig, lovely. Elliot, Ellie, your name came from an ancestor, Alfred Elliot Howell, a connection to him, the family, and the land in a summer home in Tennessee, as well as, and I'm guessing others know, Elliott Bay in Seattle. May it bless you with strong roots and a sense of belonging to family and to Mother Earth. And we'll throw the water towards online because we have in our online audience today your newly named godmother, Monica Weiss Sharp, who is with us. Monica, may your feet, hands, and minds be blessed as well. Your second name, Catherine, is also shared by your father's great-grandmother, or grandmother. She was a great, also grandmother. She was open and loving and brought people out of themselves, and may you be blessed with those qualities. Elliot Catherine Binnig, by this name you are now called. You are a child of this family. You are a child of this congregation and of the entire universe. May you wear your name in honor, in peace, and in courage. And may your life unfold like the beauty of that flower. Great. And wonderful. The Langenfeld and Gingell family. Stephanie, what name have you given this child?
Juniper Sue Gingell.
Your parents chose Juniper. Did you? That's right, that's going to be for you. She already knows. Oh, you did? Well, then I'll get you another book. Your parents chose Juniper because it is beautiful, and it also happens to be the name of a tree that is known for both beauty and resilience. May it bless you with these qualities. Your second given name, Sioux, connects you to a place of family. It is Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And Sioux is also a name for Native peoples, also known as Ocheti Shakowin, who are advocates for the water. So may that name bless you with a sense of belonging to family and to our earth, and with a voice and a heart for advocacy. Juniper Sioux Gingell, by this name you are called. You are a child of this family. You are a child of this congregation. You are a child of the entire universe. May you wear your names in honor, in peace, and in courage, and may your life unfold like the beauty of this flower. And I have a second gift for you that I give to children at an age that they can read. And if you have this book, I have another one up my sleeve, so don't worry. Oh, you read that? Oh, you're reading Cassandra's notes. Oh, you don't have this book. Okay. This is a new book then. It explains a little bit about our faith of Unitarian Universalism, because I'm giving this to you because while parents and godparents and this whole congregation promises to dedicate themselves to supporting children on a path of growth, you know what? You are old enough to join that promise. So I have a question for you, Juniper. Will you help your parents and yourself on a path of growth towards love and learning, compassion and courage? You will? That's great. And I sign that for you. There you go.
As Director of Family Ministries, I would especially like to welcome and affirm each of these children in our community.
Parents, grandparents, godparents, family members, you are the primary religious educators of your children, and we are here to guide and support you in that process. There will be times of crisis in which we hope you will call on us and this community for love and support. There will be passages to celebrate in your family's lifetime with us, and we want to celebrate with you.
Please join in the spirit of prayer and meditation. May these children receive in abundance the blessings of health, love, knowledge, and wisdom, and in turn give back richly to that common heritage which endures from generation to generation. Amen. Blessed be.
May it be so. Amen.
We will now carry the light of our flaming chalice with us as we sing our children and youth out to their classes with our hymn of blessing.
Here you go.
Go now in peace.
And let's Adrian and Ellen and Juniper.
For this church year, we dedicate our monthly offerings to organizations led by youth and/or committed to the development of youth leadership. For this month of December, we're sharing our offering with Next Up, dedicated to amplifying youth voices from marginalized communities. Next Up develops and strengthens youth-led movements across Oregon. Their advocacy efforts have helped to expand voting rights, including voter pre-registration for 16 and 17-year-olds, while their leadership programs create opportunities for young people to build practical organizing skills. If you'd like to give to our offering today, and if you're watching online, you can look for a QR code and find the donate button on Boxcast. And if you're here in person, you can find the QR code. There should be a yellow slip around you in the chairs. You can find that QR code there, and if you'd like to donate cash or check, you can find an usher following the service. Thank you for your generosity as we gather our offering today. We make space each week in our service to name the concerns of our community life together. We are a caring community, and pastoral support happens through our ministers and through our lay ministers. That care includes the prayers of holding the prayers of the congregation throughout the week. If you're here in person, in our side galleries, there are papers, and you can leave prayer intentions to be held. And if you're online, you can send an intention to prayer at firstunitarianportland.org. Longtime member Arnie Picard died on Tuesday at the age of 95. Arnie took ill just the last few days of his life. Arnie first came to this congregation in the 1960s after discovering Unitarianism at All Souls Church in Washington, D.C., during the minister of A. Paul Davies, a very famous Unitarian minister. Arnie was a wise and principled person who strived to live out his principles of our faith all through his life. He served this church in numerous ways, as a board member, as a denominational affairs committee member, as an archives committee member, just a few of the ways Arnie served this congregation. In his career, he was a physics professor at Portland State University for many years. Arnie leaves his wife, Anne, of more than 50 years, and his children, Jennifer and David. His family plans a memorial service in the new year, and today we hold his family in our love. Member Brenda Bell is in Legacy Emmanuel Hospital undergoing tests. She was admitted yesterday, and we hold her in our prayers this morning. And finally, a joy today. Carter Smith, who served as our intern minister last year, saw the Ministerial Fellowship Committee of the Unitarian Universalist Association yesterday and was granted fellowship as a minister in our association. All Carter needs to do is complete her chaplain training, and that will happen in a couple weeks, and then she will be official. This is a big step in the life of a minister, and we very much celebrate with Carter today. Will you join me now in prayer? Spirit of life and of love, God of the generations, God of many names and of no name, hear our prayers on this December morning. Be with us in all that we bring into this time of waiting, this time of anticipation, this time of joy and excitement, but also this time that can be a time of sadness too. We may be remembering loved ones who are not with us this season. We might be longing for a return of a season that once was but is no longer. Yes, Spirit, this can be a tender time. No matter where we are in it all, help us, Spirit, to make a space for the holy, where both memory and hope are present, where there might even be a space for surprise, for what we don't expect. Ground us in this community that we call beloved. May faith and hope and love be present with us this day and in all the days to come. Bless us, Spirit, as we find our way. Amen. Let's take a few moments now to be together in silence. Our reading today is by Ralph Waldo Emerson, transcendentalist and Unitarian minister, from his essay, The Oversoul, published in 1841. Let us learn the revelation of all nature and thought, that the highest dwells within us, that the sources of nature are in our own minds, and there is no screen or ceiling between our heads and the infinite heavens. So there is no bar or wall in the soul where we, the effect, cease, and God, the cause, begins. I am constrained every moment to acknowledge a higher origin for events than the will I call mine. There is deep power in which we exist and whose beatitude is accessible to us. Every moment when the individual feels invaded by it is memorable. It comes to the lowly and simple. It comes to whosoever will put off what is foreign and proud. It comes as insight. It comes as serenity and grandeur. The soul's health consists in the fullness of its reception. For ever and ever the influx of this better and more universal self is new and unsearchable. Within us is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty, to which every part and particle is equally related, the eternal one. When it breaks through our intellect, it is genius. When it breathes through our will, it is virtue. When it flows through our affections, it is love.
Signe, Joe, John, Amity, thank you. It was a beautiful and lush summer day. I was living near the Kairos in the Alps, a very ancient mountain range, with a small village perched higher than any other point in France. It was a perfect, is there an alarm going off? Oh, it's a car alarm, okay. Sorry. Take two. I thought it was interference with the two microphones I'm wearing. It was a beautiful and lush summer day, and I was living near the Kairos in the Alps, a very ancient mountain range, with a small village perched higher than any other point in all of France. It was a perfect day amidst the peaks, so I and my new friends, the Rambeau family, packed a simple lunch and took off in a car towards the winding roads that spiral towards the heavens. At a certain point, the beauty of our surroundings called us out of the heavy metal and glass frame of the car that lay between us and our surroundings. We took the rest of the journey on foot and hiked up to a flat spot just right for a blanket for 6. It is quite something to have a picnic amidst the peaks, a place that I have learned opens up a space in my mind where I wonder and marvel at it all. I looked around, and in some ways, I could have been in any plot of grass dotted with reds and yellows and purples and blues of the flowers, looking up at the sky on an afternoon now grown warm enough for me to peel off the layer of my jean jacket. And yet, it was not like any other place I had known, for when I looked to the sky, I could look out and not just up. I could see clouds right there beside me, not just above me. I could see the infinite blue and white spread out before me, interrupted by the greens and browns and grays and whites of the angular, triangular mountains. It was as if nothing else mattered but that moment, savoring a sandwich and a conversation with new friends who taught me something about how rich and even lavish life could be if you made time for love, food, laughter, and peaks to play a role in your life. After lunch, we returned to the car and climbed higher. And then it happened. On this warm afternoon in June, I saw the delicious sight of snow. It blew me away. I could see that the peaks were dotted with white here and there, but somehow to be in the middle of a snowstorm in summer was beyond what I had imagined experiencing as one who is accustomed to living close to sea level. I asked my host family to stop, and I ran out of the car with delight, leaving my jacket behind, but not caring. I wanted to feel the snow melt as it touched the warmth of my elbows, still warm from the effort of hiking. The view here changed from greens and browns and reds and purples and yellows to blues and grays and white, and the color of crystal and winter. It was as if before I left this place, the mountains wanted me to know that there is always one more joy hidden somewhere, perhaps around the very next bend. A snowstorm in summer. Yes, I never would have expected it, never have thought to ask for it, never have known how hopeful, how splendid it would feel. It was one of those moments when the color of the world captures your heart, and of course, you have your camera and you snap away, but no matter how good the Kodacolor system, the photos you show later never grab that feeling of surprise, of the splendor of it all, of recognizing that this is your home, that you and those mountains and that snow all descend from the very same mystery and miracle. That somehow you've received the gift of this life, that somehow, despite your having done nothing to earn it, the ability to reach new heights is yours. And yet you wouldn't make it on your own. You could not create the path. It was there before you were born. A sense of power tempered by humility, a sense of possibility with the twinge of impossibility, a sense that the divine might be watching, a sense that you and all of your surroundings are awash in the sacred. Yes, I have long since lost the photographs, but the feeling has returned bidden and unbidden on occasion. It is no wonder that Zeus lived on a mountain, and that feeling of deep connection with the universe, that feeling of being awash in a holy mix of love and joy and life, is often described as a peak or ecstatic religious experience. As Unitarian minister Ralph Waldo Emerson would tell us, all the scriptures and creeds and efforts of religions to pass down the knowledge that creation is shot through with light and love are like the photographs. Sometimes a glimpse of the stunning, but always falling short of the real deal of your mountaintop encounter. Be it the birth of a child, a moonlit night on the ocean, a moment where time stands still after two at war find they are at peace, a moment of generosity that takes your breath away, the miracle of being given a second chance at life after you never appreciated the first one. The point, though, is not to just listen to my story or to glorify the experiences of Jesus or Buddha or any other person, but rather to get into your own car and to go on a journey, to open up your heart to an encounter with the unlikely, to quiet the rational mind for a moment and to just be and bask and feel and cry and hope and tremble in the presence of the miracle, the mystery, and the fragility and resiliency of life. This is the heart of our first of 6 UU sources, to have direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces that create and uphold life. In his famous speech to a graduating class of Unitarian ministers at Harvard in 1838, Emerson said, "Refuse the good models, dare to love God without mediator, cast behind you all conformity, and acquaint men at first hand with deity." He spoke against simply receiving doctrines from the past and for the importance of trusting our own intuition and our own experiences of the divine. And in that sermon, he did cast off conformity. He spoke against supernatural miracles, a big deal in 1838, and about encountering divinity in humanity. While Emerson hoped that a thoughtful academic debate would follow, instead, he was immediately attacked by the powers of the day in Unitarianism and at Harvard. He was called a heretic and an atheist, and he was disinvited from ever returning to the campus for decades ahead. But do you know what the chapel where he delivered that sermon is called today? It is the Emerson Chapel, and his quote, "Acquaint thyself at first hand with deity," is engraved on the wall. Emerson and his fellow transcendentalists were considered radicals. We owe a debt to all our spiritual forebears who opened up multiple doorways to truth and to God. We enjoy a Unitarian Universalism that allows for atheists, agnostics, and theists of all stripes to give voice to the uncensored stirrings of their soul. I hope that you find the religious pluralism here to be a liberating invitation to explore your own sense of where you encounter God, or what is holy, and what that represents in your life. The ability to make sense of the world and our place in it, and to articulate what we believe is ultimate, is vital to the spiritual life and to resilience, especially in these times of trouble and trial. I know this can be challenging, and the word God can be an obstacle for some while an invitation to others. So let me offer an example. My definition of God is the creative power of love that is able to enter the brokenness and suffering in our lives and our world, and moves with us towards healing change. It is that which transforms despair into hope, injustice into liberation, and the forces of destruction and isolation into creation and interconnection. It is the spirit of love, which is a part of all of us and yet greater than each. One of the guiding questions born out of this definition is, what is the pathway of healing? And how can I or we move in that direction? There's a story in the Bible of Jacob encountering an angel. He wrestles with that angel all night, and it turns out the angel is God. Jacob survives the encounter, but is left with a limp. When the angel is about to leave, Jacob asks for a blessing, and his blessing is a new name, Israel. There is so much written about this name and what it might mean, including he who wrestles with God, he who sees God, and he who contends with God. In any event, what resonates with my direct experience in that passage is that so often when we ask questions about God or what is ultimate, we are wrestling with an urgent need to make meaning, whether because of contending with despair, loss, illness, or injustice. We usually do not come away from those times unscathed, but we often come away with insights that serve us to live more fully and deliberately. Whatever that blessing is that you receive during a time of wrestling might hint in the direction of what is ultimate for you. the quality or qualities that sustain and nourish you through hardship or challenge? These are questions of theodicy. Rabbi Kushner famously put that question this way: why do bad things happen to good people? This kind of question is especially challenging for people who experience God as all-knowing, all-powerful, and everywhere, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. I remember serving as a chaplain in a burn ICU where there was a man who had been working underneath a car when it exploded. He miraculously survived, but as you can imagine, he was in the most precarious and painful condition. I visited with his wife daily. She prayed without ceasing. Her pastor came frequently and prayed with her, as did I. She shared that her belief was that God would show up and answer her prayers if only she prayed hard enough. As he grew more and more gravely ill, I asked her, "Do you think God really works that way?" I knew she found hope in being able to do something, and I do believe prayer is powerful. But I was worried that if he passed away, she would blame herself. As he moved closer to death, I listened to her struggle with her theology and did the best to create a safe place for her to ask questions and to find her own answers. Our answers will not always be the same to questions about God or theodicy, our encounters with suffering. I know that some of you may believe that all things happen for a reason, while others of you do not. I don't believe in a God who chooses and sends good things for some and bad things for others as a matter of testing or strengthening or punishment or for any other reason. However, I do believe that we human beings can move through those challenging experiences towards growth, towards insights, towards more abundant life. The greater the challenge or loss, the harder that may be. However, human beings learn and grow and change through experience. Perhaps these creative impulses do reflect the divine spark in each one of us. So how do you encounter God or the holy? Is she immanent within you? Are they transcendent beyond you, or is he both within and beyond? If you believe divinity is in every blade of grass and in everything, you could be called a pantheist, and that understanding of everything as sacred might inform your commitments to the environment. If you believe that God is a verb and not a noun, then you might find the divine to be revealed in actions of love and compassion. Many who resonate with this understanding identify with process theology. If you believe that we can say more about what we don't know about God than what we do, then you're following the apophatic tradition. God is wordless, imageless, and filled with wonder. If you believe God is found on the side of the poor and oppressed, then you may resonate with liberation theology and our eighth principle. The question then becomes, is this just an abstract assertion, or are you engaged in centering people on the margins and in social change? Because that's where you might encounter the holy. In the end, what is important is that our beliefs help to nourish, sustain, and inspire us. What matters is that they ground us in love and root us in relationship. If you don't believe in God, goddess, a higher power, then does what you have put in the place of God, of the God you rejected, hold you in a time of peaks and in a time of the valley of despair? Can it hold your grief and the possibility for growth? Or do you feel you are without tools to begin to find a way forward? Meaning making is not the work of one day. It is the journey of a lifetime. It is also one of the gifts that you offer each other, that all of us offer each other here in this congregation. Through classes and covenant circles, discussion groups, our weekly services, and appointments with ministers for pastoral or theological reflection, as well as with lay ministers. This is a place where the questions and the wrestling is welcome. Whether you believe God exists or is a metaphor or poetry, may our collective movement towards what is just, holy, and true transform our lives and our world for the better. May it be so, and amen. And will you join in our closing song, number 300, with Heart and Mind? And now in our going, may the light of love bless us and keep us. May it shine down upon us. May it radiate out from within us. May it be gracious unto us, and may it make of all of us peace builders and part of the movement towards liberation. For this is the day that you and I are given. So let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace. Practice love. Amen.